Hey everybody, it's Canoe coming to you with another weekly top five, and we've got some exciting news this week where we are continuing our progress on just developing additional opportunities for caregivers. First, I want to start off with, we really want to thank everybody that's been going through all the challenges and changes with us. You're really trying to stick with it. Just realize that those of you, which is over 50% now, nearly 60% of our caregivers that stuck with it and got to level 4 training, not only did you learn a lot, we're really hearing about some great impacts of you just feel like stronger caregivers and you're doing a lot of great things. One of the things that we know is that there's a level 5 that's been in development. We've been trying to figure out how it goes. One of the big changes here is the opportunity for a level 5 caregiver to get more like guaranteed pay. So let me explain that a little bit for you. First of all, a level 5 caregiver, instead of worrying about what you make every hour, by the hour, that type of thing, our focus is to make sure that you can get $500 a week in minimum payroll. And what that means is the exchange of that is that we will basically work you up to 50 hours a week. So you're going to have to have a little bit more of an availability. We would expect that you worked every other weekend, at least for availability, if we have open shifts, that kind of thing. In exchange for that, what we'll do is pay you $500 a week. That's $2,000 a month, which is just amounts to more than most caregivers anywhere in the state of Tennessee are earning for these kinds of services. So overall, one of the things is that only the level 4 caregivers will be eligible or asked to be level 5 caregivers. This is a privileged position, which means you don't just sign up for it because you feel like it. We will ask you based on your performance. You'll have to qualify by certain means. But one of the main qualifications is that you must have completed your level 4 training. Obviously, we want to make sure our best caregivers are getting the best opportunities out there. The pay for the 50 hours a week, let me just clarify really quickly because this will be a question. If you work 35 hours and you are a level 5 caregiver, you will still receive $500 a week minimum in pay. If you work 42 hours and you will still receive the $500 minimum a week in pay. So what we're doing is guaranteeing you essentially like a salaried employee, but the only difference is that if you work over 50 hours, you would qualify for overtime, and there's some other things in there. Listen, all the details for these things will be spelled out. We're still getting a lot more information together for you. What's really important right now is to identify who's interested in this type of opportunity. Let's talk about the job a little bit more. So not talking about the hours or the pay, let's talk about what will you be expected to do. So good news is in the home, it's the same things you do now. So you're being expected to be a caregiver. When you go out to a client's home, we want you to do caregiver stuff. You all know what those things are. You know the scope of services that we provide today. The big difference is that we also want to put you in a position where you can learn some things in the back office. So we want you to be able to spend some time with us in the office, maybe learn to do things like deliver gloves, deliver meals. You might also learn more advanced things like helping with hiring days, onboarding days. And I'll give you a little bit of a secret. People who are level 5s will be the individuals that we will give office opportunities to in the future because you're slowly learning that. So I hope you see the theme here. Our goal is to create a career path for as many of our staff members or employees as possible because we know many of you are very interested in that kind of thing, and we value you, and we want to figure out ways to get you engaged more and more. And here's the last piece of this is I can't stress it enough that there is going to be an immense level of accountability and expectations in this position. Just realize as a company, for us to guarantee a lot of caregivers $500 a week in a salaried mindset is that we need to make sure that we're doing it for the best folks, right? So not only do you need to meet certain qualifications, there's things you need to agree to as well. Things like ongoing and continuing education. You may have to adhere to certain standards. We may not allow you to do things like just forget to be in uniform. You can't do that. There'll be just things that are by all means, the standard things we require of any caregiver, we just want you to set a very strong example of that. So once again, the opportunity for many of you caregivers that have already done the level 4 training is to find a path to level 5. We'll be very selective with that. Now let me talk to the other half of the caregivers that are out there. What we have found looking at the numbers is, by and large, you either are a level 4 caregiver or you really haven't done any training or very little. I can't encourage enough that if you are a just everyday caregiver, you are looking to make sure you want to maximize your rate of pay, you want to maximize your opportunities, you want to maximize the ability to get the next shift that comes open, please get in there, do your training, get to level 4 status. It is not a little thing. That's still a big deal in this organization. And then for some of you who are willing to do that, we're going to go to level 5. There's going to be a lot of things in the description below, probably some links that you can follow up on. What you can definitely expect is if you're one of the few that we are reaching out to, you're going to get a phone call either from the recruitment department or from your service supervisor to talk about the opportunity more in detail. If you have any questions, please reach out to your service supervisor. That's where we want that dialogue to really go. It's not going to help you to, post in a comment here or something else. You really want to talk directly to your service supervisor because they are the ones that will be hiring you. We, as always, want to end by thanking you, every one of you, for all the hard work that you do. We are still very much in the thick of COVID. Precautions are very important. Please take them. This is a reminder just in general. Wearing a mask while delivering services is mandatory, especially when you're within 6 feet of a client. That stuff has not changed. We're seeing the infection rates go up, and it's mostly because people are not adhering to all the precautions that they should. Please be safe, be well, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.